I want to ask you about this location. I thought it was blocks and blocks away from David's house. It isn't.
No. I'd say it's probably 150 feet to Doheny Place, which he's on, from the rear of, from the trunk of that vehicle, because he's the first spot. He's there parked on the first spot there. It's very close.
David's name is blowing up everywhere, but not for the reasons anyone expected. A parked Tesla in the Hollywood Hills has turned into the center of a real-life nightmare. Police opened the trunk and found the body of Celeste Rivas, a teenager who'd been reported missing multiple times. What makes it even more haunting is that the same Tesla had been sitting there for days, maybe even weeks, collecting dust while neighbors complained about it being abandoned. Parking enforcement eventually showed up, slapped a ticket on the windshield, and had it towed. But when the tow yard workers popped the front trunk, everything changed. Inside was Celeste. Investigators believe she had been gone for weeks before anyone even realized. The medical examiner still hasn't confirmed how or why she died, leaving everyone paralyzed by unanswered questions. But here's where things take a darker turn. David's team told reporters he's been cooperating with police, and technically, he hasn't been named a suspect. Still, the internet isn't buying it, especially after what dropped next. TMZ released a liquor store security clip from the night Celeste disappeared back in March 2024. If you slow it down, everything matches: the hoodie, the stride, even the way she glances over her shoulder. The footage shows her jogging off into distance before vanishing around a corner. It's unsettling to watch, knowing what came after. The truth is, Celeste had a history of vanishing. Riverside County records show she went missing at least 3 or 4 times in 2024, always coming home, until April. That's when she disappeared for good. And now, finding her body inside his car, people are demanding answers fast. Fast forward to that same Tesla, sitting in the Hollywood Hills. Week after week, it sat crooked on the curb, layered in dust, covered with parking tickets like silent warnings. No one thought twice. Eventually, it got towed. But when workers at the tow yard noticed a foul smell and opened the trunk, what they found froze them. It was Celeste Rivas. The timestamps on those parking tickets could now be the key, potentially revealing when the car stopped moving, and maybe even when the nightmare began. Yet, even with all that, the timeline remains fractured. That liquor store footage everyone's seen only gives part of the story. The biggest question still hangs in the air. How did Celeste's body end up inside that Tesla? And if she disappeared in March, who's responsible for what happened between that night and when her car was found in late August? Something dark fills that missing gap, and no one's ready for what it could reveal. T.O. understand this tragedy. You can't just list the dates. You have to feel the story unfold. It began back in February 2024, right around Valentine's Day, when Celeste was first reported missing. At the time, police brushed it off as another runaway incident, something she had done before. When she came home days later, her family's relief didn't last long. Just weeks later, she vanished again. Security cameras near a local park and a liquor store caught her slipping away for what would be the last time. The footage is grainy but chilling. Hood up, head down, moving fast before fading out of sight. For those who've seen it, that image burns into your mind. By April 5th, 2024, the cycle repeated. Celeste was reported missing once again, this time out of Lake Elsinore. But this time, she didn't come back. Friends and family flooded social media with her photos, hashtags, and prayers. Then the noise died down. The likes slowed. The case faded from timelines and headlines. Weeks turned into months. Silence took over until the story exploded all over again. More than a year later, a random car on a quiet Hollywood street reignited the nightmare. It was August 27th, 2025, when parking enforcement issued a ticket to a dusty Tesla sitting crooked by the curb. Neighbors said it looked abandoned, coated in grime, but no one imagined what was inside. Over a week later, on September 5th, the car was finally towed. 3 days after that, on September 8th, workers at the tow lot opened the trunk and froze. It was her. The same missing girl the internet once rallied to find was now discovered lifeless inside that car. The city stopped. That Tesla wasn't just a car anymore. It was a silent witness to a horrific story unfolding in real time. What makes it even more chilling is how normal everything looked. Just another Tesla parked under the California sun, collecting dust. When the first ticket was issued, no one realized the truth. Celeste's body was already inside. The vehicle had been sitting there like a sealed tomb. But here's the twist. This wasn't an ordinary car. Teslas are basically rolling computers. They've got GPS tracking, multiple cameras, internal data logs, digital breadcrumbs for every movement. If investigators can unlock that data, it could reveal every stop, every timestamp, maybe even the moment the nightmare began. Somewhere inside that car's memory, the truth might already be waiting. Forensics from inside the Tesla paint a grim picture. The medical examiner reported the body was in such an advanced state of decomposition that determining how or when Celeste died was nearly impossible. Toxicology tests are underway, but for now, the official report is listed as deferred, which basically means we still don't know. And that uncertainty has the public on edge. Now we get a David, the name at the heart of this storm. Whether people like it or not, he's the one everyone's pointing at. And for fans, the connection is devastating. This is the same artist who went viral for romantic homicide, who toured the world and built a massive following, now tied to one of the darkest stories to ever hit Los Angeles. From global stages to police headlines overnight, it's the kind of downfall nobody saw coming. Officially, D4vd hasn't been named a suspect. Police say he's been cooperating fully. No arrests, no charges, at least not yet. But the internet doesn't wait for court filings. That Tesla wasn't a rental. It wasn't borrowed. It was his. And that fact alone sent shockwaves through the fan base. How does a luxury Tesla registered to a chart-topping artist sit abandoned for weeks, ticketed, towed, and untouched, without anyone realizing what's inside? How does that happen in Los Angeles, a city crawling with paparazzi? And even more disturbing, how did that same car become the final resting place of a missing teenager? D4vd's silence has only fueled speculation. His once loyal fans are now turning into detectives, flooding his comments with questions and demands. Some defend him, insisting he deserves the benefit of the doubt. Others say silence is guilt, that he knows more than he's saying. Social media has been ruthless. Old interviews, lyrics, and music videos are being dissected like evidence. Some fans even claim his songs feel darker now that the story's out. The internet has already chosen its villain, and in their eyes, David's quiet is louder than words. Imagine being at the height of your career, your music topping charts, tours lined up, your life finally taking off, and then overnight, your own car becomes evidence in a possible homicide case. That's the nightmare David's living. Whether blindsided or complicit, his name is now entangled in something he may never escape. He's walking a tightrope. 1 foot in fame, 1 foot in investigation, trying to hold everything together while the world dissects his every move. Right now, the Tesla might hold the forensic truth, but to the internet, the question is simpler. What does David really know? And worse, did he do it? Because once a story like this catches fire, social media becomes a courtroom. Theories spread faster than facts, and speculation becomes law. 3 major theories are dominating the conversation, each one darker than the last. The first is a relationship theory. Some people are convinced Celeste and D4vd had a personal connection, maybe something secret. They point to old Instagram clips, blurry screenshots, and unverified DMs as proof. But there's no solid evidence, just rumors feeding the flames. Then comes a foul play theory. This one claims Celeste didn't end up in that Tesla by accident. Someone put her there to cover up what really happened. It's a chilling thought, and while there's no official report confirming signs of struggle, the image alone has people convinced. And finally, there's a timeline theory. It suggests Celeste's body wasn't in that Tesla the entire time she was missing, that something or someone moved her later, tying her disappearance and the car together in one horrifying conclusion. His supporters say absolutely not. They insist he's an artist, not a monster, a kid whose music bleeds heartbreak and emotion, not violence. They point out that he's cooperating with police, hasn't fled, hasn't lawyered up. To them, that doesn't sound like guilt. It sounds like someone blindsided by tragedy, but the skeptics aren't buying it. They say fame doesn't equal innocence. They argue that if the car was under his name, then there's no way he's completely clueless. Either he knew more than he's saying, or he ignored something he shouldn't have. And in the court of public opinion, that silence sounds louder than any confession. Online, the debates have turned into digital trials. Fans play detective. Haters play prosecutor. Theories spread faster than facts. Yet, when you stack them all up, none of these stories hold steady. Because the truth is, we don't have the evidence. Not yet. Until investigators fill in blanks. Everything out there is just speculation, intense, emotional, and dangerously viral speculation. But that doesn't mean David's life isn't falling apart. While detectives try to piece together the case, D4vd is battling a completely different kind of storm. The kind that only fame can create. His once sky-high career is now teetering on the edge. Reports say multiple shows have been canceled, venues pulling out, waiting for the dust to settle before touching his name again. Even his landlord's allegedly trying to kick him out, tired of the paparazzi and news vans circling his building like vultures. On streaming platforms, the chaos only gets louder. Fans are divided straight down the middle, half still streaming his songs like nothing happened, the other half calling for a full-blown boycott. Then there's the Tesla, the silent witness to everything. Neighbors say it sat for days, maybe weeks, collecting dust in the Hollywood Hills. Complaints started on August 26. It was inspected on the 27th, ticketed on the 3rd, and finally towed on the 5th. All that time, it just sat there, lifeless, unnoticed. The smell wasn't even reported until after it reached the tow yard. Meaning, that car spent days baking under the California sun, holding a body no one knew was there. How'd that happen in the middle of Los Angeles? How long had Celeste really been inside? Right now, the investigation stands at a crossroads. Detectives have a Tesla full of digital data, a home full of forensic samples, and a timeline full of haunting gaps. But still, no arrests, no suspects, no answers. What remains is a devastating story full of pain, silence, and shadows. A missing girl, a luxury car turned crime scene, and a rising star whose life might never be the same again. Somewhere in all the data, Tesla logs, phone records, surveillance footage, lies the truth. But until it surfaces, the world's left to guess, debate, and speculate. Because this isn't just another Hollywood scandal. It's a mystery that won't let go. A story where fame, tragedy, and truth collide, and every second of silence only makes the darkness grow louder. So what do you think? Was this just a tragic accident, or something far more sinister hiding in plain sight? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because this story is far from over.